Hello, this is Marian Davenport of the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching our video voters guide or listening to our podcast. We're here today to talk with candidates running in the November 8th, 2022 general election. We're grateful for the support of the Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. Today with me is Mr. John Masterman, running for Oregon State House of Representatives District 48, which covers the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood of Southeast Portland and parts of North Portland. Welcome, Mr. Masterman.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for this office.
I am a husband, a dad of two amazing little girls, a homeowner, a small business owner. It's a one-person show, but it covers all aspects of running a business. Just your basic blue-collar neighbor, work on cars, just want to try and make a difference. The short form of why am I running? I just can't do more of the same nonsense that's been going on recently.
Do you support or oppose the gun safety measure 114, on the November ballot? And please explain your answer.
In short, I oppose this ballot measure. It is very broad. It covers an awful lot of things. No one I know is in favor of violence, regardless of the instrument used for it. This ballot measure by itself, it has every appearance of being likely unconstitutional. My view on this is guns don't do bad things. People with bad intentions do bad things. Restricting access to firearms that's guaranteed by our Second Amendment of law-abiding citizens will not help the problem. Criminals don't follow the laws. So enacting more laws to further restrict the access of the law-abiding citizens won't help what the criminals do.
What step, if any, should the legislature take to address the climate emergency and its impact on Oregon?
There are different approaches to this. One major way that we have heard is by trying to transition over to a lot of things that don't involve fossil fuels. The technology to do that can advance and evolve on its own, but to force it on people is not really economically viable. The cost of fuel and energy right now, it hurts any person's budget out there. I have to pay those bills myself, and just the cost on fuel to get from A to B and the electricity to heat the house, everything has gone up so much. If the real life goal is to reduce what is now called carbon pollution, there are other ways to do it that achieve the same reduction of carbon output that don't require those measures that are so harmful to the average family's budget. The catch is we have to make sure that everyone involved will have a conversation about different options that might be in play rather than only having one approach.
You are listening to the League of Women Voters of Portland Video Voters Guide interview and podcast with Mr. John Masterman, who's running for the Oregon State House of Representatives District 48. What more could Oregon do to help people move into safe and secure housing?
This is another tough one, many different angles. As a starting point, folks have to want to move into safe and stable housing, and they have to be able to move into safe and stable housing and be able to thrive in doing so. I'm all in favor of helping people get their feet back underneath them when life has dealt them a pretty messy hand. That's the most wonderful thing ever, is to help people get on their feet, help them get squared away and carry on with life by themselves. But I'm not a fan of a lot of handouts that enable folks to carry on with the same sort of behavior and keep them in the same situation that they're in. It's not healthy for either the people that are there or those around them to have the folks living on the sides of the streets. It's just not a safe arrangement for anyone.
What state action will you take to implement the limits on campaign contributions and expenditures that Oregon voters approved in 2020?
I would be interested in hearing any discussion or any proposals on that. What actually gets done would need to be something that works well for everyone. There would need to be discussion, not just one side of a push to dictate what's going on. Bring a proposal, and I am all ears. I will consider whatever comes along.
What standards identified in the August 2022 report of the Quality Education Commission do you believe are most important to support, and why?
Well, in short, on education, it's another broad topic, but to narrow it down some, Oregon has almost the highest per student spending on public education, and we have almost the lowest graduation rate. So regardless of any other views or arguments, there's an efficiency problem in there somewhere. We need to find out where the money's going, how it's being used, and make the best use of it before we pump more money into it. We've already demonstrated it's not the best bargain, so we got to find out how to make it more efficient. I'm also very in favor of having parents able to have a say-so in where their students do go for their education. I would love to have a voucher program. The children belong to the parents. They should be able to have some say-so in where they go, be it homeschool, private school, charter school, and it would be wonderful to have the option to have some of our own tax dollars be used for our own child's education by our choice.
Do you support or oppose the concept of an independent redistricting commission instead of allowing the legislature to perform that function?
If the independent commission is truly independent, then I would be in favor of that. Labeling something independent doesn't necessarily mean that it is. That has to be demonstrated by whatever group it is that's charged with doing that. So a well-designed arrangement and committee would be wonderful for that. But again, there has to be discussion and work back and forth between both viewpoints on it. Right now, whichever party is in charge calls the shots, and the other side, well, they don't really have a lot of input. So if there is an independent commission established, who determines who those people are that are on that independent commission? It has to remain neutral for it to really truly achieve what we're after.
Thank you, Mr. Masterman. This concludes our video voters guide and podcast interview with Mr. John Masterman, running for Oregon State House of Representatives, District 48. Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th. Please be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and exercise your right to vote. Thank you for joining us.